All right, this is the Remington Nylon 76. Now this one is slightly different than the Nylon 66 because it has the lever action, as you can see here. That's the lever action. Similar to the 66. See the similarities? Has the nylon reinforced plastic stock. This one actually is in pretty nice condition. A little bit of paint wear on the sight. No cracks in the stock, as you can see. And this is kind of a rarity. And then there's the back, where you load the 22s. You take the tube out right here. And then the end cap says Remington Nylon 76 right there. So now quite a few people technically don't know how to take down this and clean, etc. There are some sites online that will tell you. There's actually a couple people on YouTube that will go over the Nylon 66 and completely take this down, and clean it. These things could function and operate for hundreds of rounds before you have to clean it. You don't want to oil it at all, because what oil does, it builds up gum and powder residue inside, in between the nylon reinforcement and the parts, and then it cakes up, just like this one. This one is actually filthy dirty, so I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to clean it in kerosene. You could use brake cleaner, but be very careful with brake cleaner. Like, you don't want to get too much on here because it might discolor it or have a mark on it. So I use kerosene. It's actually the best to clean anything. You can actually clean kerosene in your engines. If you change your oil, pour a little bit of kerosene in there, mix it up with a little bit of oil, and let it run for a minute or two, and then shut the car off. It'll actually clean your engine better than anything. But you gotta be real careful doing that in your engine. So going back to this Nylon 76, this is a little bit of complication on this. Like, it's pretty much the same as a 66, but it's different because it has the lever. There are a few people here and there that once they take it apart, they don't know how to get it back together. I, for one, highly recommend do not take the complete thing apart. You don't need to. There's a guy on YouTube that takes everything apart, piece by piece, pin by pin, screw by screw, and springs, and you don't need to do that. Once you remove the top plate, receiver plate, once we remove that, and you remove your bolt and your spring and your firing pin, you could pretty much clean everything here. You don't have to remove anything else. Like, you could remove your barrel, of course. That will be the second procedure after this. Take your barrel off, clean it, and then put everything back on. But do not remove your trigger assembly, your springs, your pins. You don't have to do that to clean this, because one, you could clean everything again, like I said, 100%. Two, if you do remove all that, it's going to be a nightmare for some people to completely put all that back together. So the first thing with these lever actions is you want to take these two screws out here on the receiver plate. All this is just a plate cover. It's not a complete receiver. So take these two screws out. Okay, just don't strip the heads. As soon as you start unscrewing them, then you can unscrew by hand. Make sure you put all parts aside. And here's the other one. Now, one thing about the lever action, it's a little different than the bolt action or the semi-automatic. There's no tension on the bolt. Only when you cock it here with the lever and then push it forward, that's the tension, basically. But there's a gear mechanism on this side, and then there's the forward assist part that forwards the bolt that is attached to the gear with teeth. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to be careful if this is going to be your first time, is you might want to slowly take this off and don't let, what's on this side, I'm sorry, what am I saying, this side? Your ejector's on this side. Don't worry about the ejector, that's easy to put back in. But the gear mechanism and the forward assist is actually on this side. So what you want to do is you want to open the lever a little bit like that, see? So don't keep it closed because you're putting tension on the bolt. Open the lever a little bit, get that tension off that bolt like that. See how far I have it? And then what you want to do is slowly lift this receiver. See how I'm slowly doing this? Slowly lift it, and see? And I just slowly lift it out. So there's your receiver plate. Now here is your, see how that comes out? So you can actually move this and just snap it right back in. So this is what I call a forward assist pin part, and here's your lever mechanism with the gears on it. So see, there's a little groove right here that is bigger than all these other little teeth. So you want to start with that big groove, that cutout right there, the number 1, and you see how this is laid. Now this will pop out. This forward assist part, the silver part, will pop out if you don't kind of hold it down a little bit. And this part would pop out too. So just keep it held like that. Now again, see how I'm holding it? See how the lever is out a little bit? You want to keep this out just like this. Okay? So when you put this back, say this popped out. Let's pop this out. Okay? See how I popped that out? So it's popped out. You want to slightly push it back. Make sure it's in the bolt right here. There's just a little pin there. And keep a hold of it with your thumb. Because if you turn it, it's just going to pop all out. There's no spring really on it. The only time there's a spring tension is if you push this bolt or this lever back. If you put the lever back up to the stock, there'll be spring tension here, and you won't be able to open up your bolt or close your bolt with your lever. So again, if you do it slowly like I did, and say this popped out accidentally as you're moving the plate off, say you move this plate off and this piece came out, just line it up like this, like I did. Keep this lever out again and put that forward assist part right in the first groove. Right there, see? Make sure it's right in that groove. Don't touch the lever. So I'm keeping, now watch this. I'm going to keep my finger on this and I'm going to turn this thing completely around. Okay? Here is my injector part. That goes in just like that. You see that part there? So what you want to do is you just want to put it in that slot like that. See how that snaps in there? That just comes out and it just falls right down in there. So it's a shame. You could even put a little piece of tape on that to keep it from falling out. You know, put a piece of little clear tape on that. It won't hurt anything. It'll keep it steady on there, and then when you turn it around, it actually won't fall out. Now watch. See how that falls out? Just falls right out. So if you want to make life a lot easier, just put it back in. Now I'm holding this part now with my finger, say, and then pop that part back in there. Put a piece of clear tape right over there. Keep that thing held in if you like, but if not, keep it level like this. Now see, I'm not turning it completely around. I'm just, see, now this is starting to come out a little bit. Now watch this. I just have to bring this part up a little bit. There we go. Almost, hold on. I gotta do it over now. There, it's my lever. That's what I'm doing. My lever is, okay. So just keep it held like that. Okay. Then you want to take your receiver plate. See the receiver plate? Now remember, I have my injector part on this side level. Be careful you don't pull this lever down right here or push it up, because then it's going to make these parts come out. My finger's still holding this. So what I want to do is slowly put it over top. Now watch that. See? There. I'm slowly putting it back on and then push it down. See that? I pushed it completely down. And now keep that lever like that. Don't move that lever. Put your, oops, hold on. Put your screw back in the hole and put your other screw back in the other hole. There we go. And then take your screwdriver and just slightly turn it. You don't have to put too much tension on it. Okay. There. I just tighten it snug. I just snug tighten it because you can always retighten these, but you don't want to over tighten this. Okay. This video is just going to show you how to put this back together as of that, because a lot of people are not able to put that back. So the next video, what I'll do is I'll take this completely off. I'll take the barrel off and I'll take the bolt and the spring, and then that's it. And then I can show you how to clean everything. Now watch. I snap that back in. Now if I pull this back, see? It works. See that? See that bolt right there? Watch that bolt. See how that bolt goes assist into the barrel? Now I'm going to shoot it. See? Shoot it one more time. So that's how it works. So if you follow exactly how I did it, you won't have any problems getting this back on. A lot of people struggle because what happens is, again, when you take off this top plate, and these two pieces will fall. The tooth groove piece will fall, you know, with all the teeth on it. And then I call it the forward assist. Well, it's like a gear. It's a gear tooth piece. The black one will fall out. And then the forward assist part with the teeth on it will completely fall out too. So then people, what they do by mistake on this Model 76 is they keep the lever up. So once those pieces fall out, the tension on this bolt just comes at the back. So now, even though this lever's up, see that lever's up now, the bolt will release its tension. And as soon as it releases its tension, when these two pieces fall out, you're not going to be able to get this back in. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm struggling. I'm trying to get these two parts in and it's not working. And then all of a sudden you put everything back on and it's not even, the bolt's not even going to be moving on you because there's nothing grabbing here. So just be patient. And like I said, do exactly what I did. If the injector part falls out on you and you have this open up like that when I showed you, make sure you just lift this side up slowly. Who cares about the injector part? Don't worry about that if that falls out. Just make sure these two pieces, if you're not used to this, keep this like that, the lever, like about this space, touching right here. And when you pull this up again, like I said, keep your finger right about here and hold those two pieces in. If you hold them lightly and moving this up at the same time, they won't fall out. Okay? So, again, keep your finger on it. And when you completely remove it and the injector falls out, like I said, just put it back on like I said, and you can put a piece of tape over it so that when you do level the gun out like this and you put it back on, boom. Now, if these two parts fall out, like I said, don't put them back in like that. Okay? Make sure the lever has the tension off of it like this. Put your gear where position was, and then put your forward assist where it was, and put it back into the groove, into that last bigger groove where the gear is. And then hold it with your finger. And keep this lever like that. And then put it back. And you'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Just practice. Practice makes perfect. And again, my second video will be completely removing the barrel, the bolt, and the spring. I'm not removing the lever. I'm not touching that. Because what I could do is when I clean this one day and I make that video, is I'm just going to clean everything with Q-tips, kerosene with Q-tips, get down in there. Because see, this is solid here now. This is actually the lever gun, so it's not like your semi-automatic. It's complete different. But once you start taking this off, you're just going to be in a big mess. This is a big mess to take these lever off. So I would recommend don't even try that. You don't need to. Now, if you want to lightly oil it after you clean it all inside, I highly, highly recommend to use a dry lube. Do not use anything wet lube. Do not use WD-40. Do not use regular motor oil. Do not use olive oil, gun oil. Don't use any of that, because these particular rifles were made not to oil. Okay? They will function 110% without losing its ability to shoot any kind of round if you don't oil. The biggest problem is, like, when I purchased this rifle, the guy oiled everything inside. Like, this is completely oiled inside, and he made that mistake. And I actually got this for a song. I actually got this rifle practically for nothing, because he kept trying to shoot this thing, and the 22 ammo would jam inside, and it was because it was built up with sediment, gunpowder residue, dirt, everything imaginable, because the oil just attracted inside. There's nowhere for it to dissipate. Listen to me. Just nowhere for it to go. With the nylon stock and everything, it just caked up in there really bad. I mean, just really caked up, because the oil attracted all the dirt and residue. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to slightly oil any internal parts, especially the bolt, use a dry lube oil. Okay? I will guarantee it would function. And then you can also, when you take this, see, he even oiled this up. So this is your tube. There's your plunger, and you can see the oil. I mean, look at the oil on this thing. It's completely loaded with oil. So again, just dry. After I clean all this, I'm just going to dry lube a couple drops. I'm going to take a steel wool and shine this baby up. But there's, on the tube holder in there, the tube pipe, there's too much oil. So there you go. See how that slides in? It's just like, it kind of like sticks in there. See, it doesn't like slide in smooth. But that's the problem. He oiled it up too much. So as soon as I get this thing clean 100% and dry lube a couple drops here and there, this thing would be like a new firearm, like you just bought it out of the store. Now what I'm going to do is take this sight off. See that? And the paint coming off a little bit? That's all that is. That's not blue. That's spray paint. And what I'm going to do is spray that flat black. It'll be like a new sight. And then you could take very, very fine car polish, like compound. If you have some scratches in this, there's a couple here and there, like right here, and take some fine compound car polish and go over that really lightly with some extreme fine. Nothing too coarse, because you'll scratch it more. And then take some car polish after that and shine this baby up. And if you have a electric buffer, it'll do a better job. But it has to be really fine, extra fine compound to get, you don't want to keep putting fine scratches in this, because then you'll be doing more work than you want to, and you'd have to really buff this out with some extra fine car polish. And then you could even, if you wanted to, I mean, this is blued, this receiver plate. So, but if you wanted to paint it a flat black, if it's really scratched up, this has some fine scratches in it, as you can see right there, but nothing too spectacular. For this thing was made in 1962, 63. So for the condition of this, and look at it, it's like 90%. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, you could see it. So again, when I completely redo this, it's going to be like a new firearm. My second video will be the complete takedown, less the lever. I'm not taking any of that apart, or I'm just taking the bolt and the barrel. All right, hope you learned something. I'll see you later. Everybody be safe.